Now that you've watched the Donning protocol from the CDC and reviewed those guidelines, we're now going to review the protocol for the dental center. First, I want to give you a layout of all of the personal protective equipment, the PPE that you will need. You're going to start off with your mask. You will need exam gloves. You will need a baggie to put your personal mask in, and that is what will hold your personal mask throughout the entire time that you're in the dental treatment area. A surgical gown, bonnet, booties, safety goggles or loops, and your face shield. So once you enter the treatment area, the first thing you're going to do is wash your hands for 20 seconds. You will turn on the water using the foot controls at the bottom. Add the soap, and you will scrub, wash your hands for 20 seconds. You'll go in between your fingers, scrubbing each hand individually, scrubbing each finger individually. You may look at a clock to do your 20 seconds, or you may sing the ABCs twice. When you rinse your hands, you can start at the wrist and let the soap come off of your fingertips. You may now grab 2 paper towels and you will pat your hands dry. You don't want to scrub, but you will pat your hands dry. After you have done your hand hygiene protocol, you may now enter the dental treatment area. The first personal protective equipment you put on will be your personal isolation gown. You can unfold it, put one arm in, and put the next arm in. There are 2 ties in the back with 2 strings, and you will tie those together. And then halfway down, there's another set of ties. They're not immediately in the middle, it's kind of to the left side. Towards your left hand is where you will tie them. Once you have put on the isolation gown, you will now take off your personal mask using and only touching the ear side, so the ear loops that are going around your ears, and you will place your personal mask inside your own baggie. This is where it will stay the entire time you are in the treatment area. You may tuck it into a drawer, and that's where it will stay. Next, you will pick up a surgical mask. Now, if you take a look at the surgical mask, there is certain sides, front and back. So the color side on these will go out, or the side that doesn't have the ear loops attached to it. You can also see at the top, if you bend the top, it's bending. There is a metal wire in there, whereas at the bottom, there is no metal wire. So we know that the metal goes towards the top, so it can conform around your nose, and the bottom should not have it. The folds should be going in a downward direction, so that if you think of it, it's kind of like if you could pick your nose. You want those folds going down. You can take the metal part around your nose and contour it to your nose, push down so it's nicely up against your cheek, and pull the bottom portion under your chin. And as you put your mask on, you're only going to be touching it by the ear loops once it's on. Next, you will put on your goggles, your safety glasses or your loops. And as you put them on, you'll put them on with your hands on the side. And make sure they are over your mask. Next, you will put on your bonnet. And as you put this on, make sure it is over your forehead, over your hair bun, and kind of tucked into the neck, as well as over the ears. So it should be covering all of your hair and your ears. Next, you will put on your face shield. Place it on your forehead and bring the straps toward the back and Velcro it in so it is secure on the back of your head. The next personal protective equipment will be your booties. Open one up, place it over your foot. And now at this point is the time that we put exam gloves on. But before we put exam gloves on, we always wash our hands prior to putting on gloves and after putting on gloves. So we're going to wash our hands again for another 20 seconds. Scrubbing the palms, the fingers, in between the fingers, each finger individually. And as we're rinsing, rinse so the water is flowing out the fingertips and falling off of the fingertips. And we will pat our hands dry. Make sure at this point your hands are really dry because it is difficult to put on exam gloves if you have wet hands. Once you put on your exam glove, make sure that the whole glove goes over the cuff of the isolation gown. You don't want to see your wrist. You don't want to see any skin exposed in that area. You don't want the cuff going over the gloves. You want the gloves going over the isolation gown cuff. And now you're ready for treatment.